All right,
Yeah,
we're
streams
live.
live. Yep.
All right.
Time's up. Are we in?
I think so.
We're live. That shit, the red thing showing live for 10 seconds now.
You're okay, Stevie.
Was that a dog growling?
Yeah.
Or a cat?
All right.
I've got
we got Chadwick. Hey,
here as well.
Chadwick.
Who's next
So,
to
all
me.
right.
Hello.
So we finally managed to get it working live. All right. How you doing, guys?
Hey.
Hey. Live.
Hi.
It's alive. It's
There we
alive.
go. Sweet. We've got proof. We're not
So
just internet.
Here we are live from New York for a Saturday Night Book Club. And we have with us Jeff from Jeff's Cave of Cool Books. Go ahead, Jeff. Introduce yourself to the channel.
Hey, guys. This is nice to see you. Glad to have Connor on here. Good to see you, Paul.
How you doing?
Good.
All right. Connor. We have Connor from Australia. Go ahead and introduce yourself and your channel. Tell us about your channel. This is your first live stream ever.
Yeah.
So
my name's Connor, and as you can see there, for my channel name is Movie Snapper. Just basically, I'd started finding all you guys on YouTube, and was really wanting to be a part of it, and that's why I started my channel. Because I was also wanting to get back into reading, and I thought, what better way than to put myself on a show on the internet, and actually talk about books and what I've been reading. So I kind of went straight into the deep end. I'm normally a very shy person, and thought, why not? And so I started meeting some of the guys on YouTube and connecting and just talking about whatever stuff I happen to read at the time, and showing when I buy stuff as well. And just talk about that and try to share that and connect with anyone I can.
Where's the name Movie Snapper come from, Connor? Is that just like filming or something?
So originally I was planning on doing a movie YouTube channel. I'm really into movies and watch a lot and have for a long time. And so that's what I was going to do. And one of the first people on YouTube I ever connected with was another Aussie guy who does a lot of movies. And then because I don't know, I just never did it. And then started reading it again. The first one I've even shared it was Soul Dancer. This got me back into reading. And I just decided to shift and do books and reading instead. And didn't know I could change the name of the channel, and just left it as Movie Snapper. And then I thought, you know what, I can just do movies as well, and plan on sharing some with a focus on some of the older stuff. And just figured I'd do books and movies on the one channel, and just left it all. And then found out later you can change things, but I haven't, so I left it.
Yeah, by that time people get to know you a little bit, but I know some channels change their their name halfway through. I think it's Allison Reed's something. I forgot what her name was, but she was just Allison Reed's, and then she added something else to it and changed it about halfway, like a couple months in. So I don't know, Paul, has your channel always been Geeks Loves Dogs?
More or less. Hold on, let me say hello to Check Your Shelf. How you doing?
Hey,
hello.
Say
hey,
hello.
Paul. I'm guessing that's Paul because it's Check Your See. Oh, and here's Nick.
Hey, how you going?
We have Sleepy Reader 666.
Sleepy, all right. Hey, Sleepy. Damien, how you doing, man?
Hey,
all the
Brian
way from Portland.
Hello, Brian.
Brian, all right.
Oh, hey. How you going?
Brian, are you back from Italy, or are you still sojourning around the world?
Yeah, Brian was on vacation. Lucky him.
Yeah, I saw that. He mentioned that.
But my channel, I started with Geeks Love Dogs, but I had different iterations of that because I had more than one channel. I actually have a board game channel that I don't give any love to, but so I had multiple names, and once I established this, I decided just to use this as Geeks Love Dogs period and be done with it.
Because those Geeks Love Dogs book dragons, hey, at first.
Yeah, that's right. Book dragons, that's right.
Yeah, because I was trying to separate it from my gaming channel because I didn't know what I was going to, what I was going to be able to put time into. So I wanted to make sure they were separated. And I was just learning BookTube. So, I went with that. So just in order to separate the channels, at least in my mind, I knew which one I was putting us up on. It actually started out as Geeks Shorts originally. Because I was
it's not.
And Jeff, hey, we said he had to freeze in the best, position possible, right? And that's a pretty good one.
Yeah, he's just having trouble with his internet in Japan.
I don't know. I'm sorry, guys. It's happening again. It should smooth out in a little while, but I don't know why. There's a little rain. It's a Sunday morning. Maybe everyone is sharing the same bandwidth with me here. We got lots of people in my area. I don't know. Sorry. Anyway, I was just saying that naming channels is hard. So, I went back and forth on several different names before I decided on my own stupid name for my channel now. But
you want to hear something I never told before? Is originally I tried to start a channel a year before I started my channel, and it was actually called Reading Riffs because it was going to be books and metal.
Now we got a reading. We got a reading riff.
And I never actually started that channel, because I did a video and trashed it, and like, nope, I look terrible. I'm not doing this, and then moved on, and then came back and with this channel. So
now there's a South African booktuber. What's his name? I can't remember his name. Something reading riffs he does. So and it's a good channel too. But there's just a sea of booktubers out there. So Jeff's channel started off.
This cave of books that decided to take it up a notch. Yes, that's exactly what happened. He realized his books weren't just neat; they were cool.
Oh yeah, cool's the better way to go, right? Who's neat when you get this many books, right? I'm not. Right. I'm a mess.
You're back, Jeff.
Yeah, sorry. I was laughing at Nick's comment and then I froze again, apparently. But yeah, Nick likes to make fun of me that I'm too nice on books, but I say stuff sucks once in a while. I'm just pretty good at screening what I want to read, so tend not to.
I love Nick's takes when he doesn't like books.
I definitely haven't been there to screening.
Sucks. It's very funny. Yeah,
I wish I could be that straightforward with it. So, what do you? So Connor, what are you reading right now? I know you've been struggling a little bit. You've been busy. You're going back to school, right? You said you're training.
So at the moment I'm reading As the Curtain Falls, which isn't here, by Robert Chilson. I know Jake recently did a book review, another book by him. But next year I'm planning on returning to study, and that'll probably take up a year or two, depending on how many things I study. So that might slow me down a bit, but I am hoping, every 3-4 weeks to have something up, something short. But so As the Curtain Falls, I have finished. It was here recently. Just finished Kung Fu Avengers.
All right.
I'll be putting a video up of that soon. So not a lot at the moment, but I hope to get back to, where is it? The Cenotaph Road series, that one I did with the giant spider crack and that. Looking forward to get back to that. And the third book in Dell and Sand Tiger, that Sword Dancer series. Those are the next two I plan on reading because they were really good. I'm really looking forward to getting back to those series. And then
mostly fantasy and science fiction, Connor?
Yeah, generally fantasy. It's definitely what I got a soft spot for. That's what I generally read growing up. And then just whatever else I happen to grab at the time. I have started to get some like the men's adventure stuff, some kung fu stuff. Planning on getting some of the men's adventure library stuff as well. Seeing you guys all talk about it.
That stuff's great.
They all look awesome. So, it's just, that's the thing, right? With buying books and collecting them, you're always getting more and you can never read fast enough. I just grab grab whatever catches my fancy and just go from there.
And of course, burn
Yeah,
it up
some
as
military sci-fi.
the military sci-fi. Of course you can.
Yeah, of course.
Burn Enough as the military sci-fi channel, so that is on point.
I do have on my Audible. I've listened to the first two in the Caiaphas Kane series. They're set in the Warhammer 40k universe. Following a commissar for the Imperial Guard. That's some pretty cool military sci-fi. And then there was I had a trilogy in my Amazon shopping cart, Paul, because you had the first one, and I cannot for the life of me remember. It was, I think, a modern U.S. Army had gone to back in time and like against the Aztec Empire or something.
Oh yeah. I did have to go there.
Yeah,
I remember that one. I remember Paul talking about one where some a squad of Vietnam soldiers in the Vietnam War took on some dinosaurs or something. But,
Primitive War or something.
Something like one of your first Ink and Ammos, Paul.
Yeah, that was my first Ink and Ammo segment.
Yeah, they look really cool too. So I'm planning on getting some of those.
Hi, Daddy, Love Jovi. Is that for you, Connor?
Yes, it is. That's my wife and my daughter.
Well, very sweet. Always
Jovi, that's a nice name. Is that short for something? Is that a nickname for her full name?
No, so that's just her full name. If you guys have ever seen the movie Elf with Will Ferrell, yeah, so there's a character in that by the name Jovi, and that was the first movie my wife showed me as we started dating, and my daughter was originally due on Christmas Eve. So we really liked the name Jovi and thought it was quite thematic. She did come a little early, but the name Jovi always stuck with us. So yeah, that's her name.
How old is Jovi, Connor?
So she's just turned 6.
Wow.
Yeah. And I have a boy named Turner. He's 18 months.
Wow. Congratulations. I didn't know you had a little newborn there too. That's why you said your son's I didn't have son's birthday or daughter's birthday. You had a birthday.
So it was my daughter's birthday party last week. So that's why I missed out on your guys' streams and we put this one back a week for that.
That's all right. I think that's a very reasonable that's a good reason to delay for sure.
No, that's why
family first. Yeah.
So you don't miss streams. Jeff, what are you reading right now? Anything good?
Yeah, I'm reading a couple of things. I've been really busy wrapping up the semester, but I'm almost free. I'm reading the Stainless Steel Rat Wants You, the last of the Stainless Steel Rat books. Sorry about the stupid price tag I need to get rid of. Very fun. It's got multiple kind of goofy endings, but what I liked about it, and I had read it years ago, but what I remember, I remember the kind of cheeky hero, slippery Jim DeGriz, the stainless steel rat of the title. He's very egotistical about his skills as a thief and all that, but he works for some interplanetary organization that he was recruited because of his skills. Anyway, he is usually several steps ahead of the game, but he gets in some real deep shit in this middle part of the book, and he's on this frozen ice world, and he's really on his last. On the back foot for a good chunk of the book, and that was nice to see, kind of giving him some real hard obstacles to overcome. So that's real fun. And then I got this for some reason it doesn't say the Black Lizard on it, but I got my big book of pulps. I think you have this one, don't you, Paul? I think you have this one.
Yes.
Anyway, and I'm reading. As you can see, there's a bookmark in there. I certainly haven't read that much. I'm reading a story that's very cool. It's as soon as I heard about this on we're reading through the introductions and stuff, there's a huge variety of characters, and one of them's called the Moon Man, and it's this son of a police chief. It's during the Depression, I guess, and people are starving and all this stuff, and then he decides the son, he's a cop, but he decides he's going to rob from people who've gotten rich through ill-gotten gains and distribute it to the poor, and he wears this like a glass sphere on his head and black suit, and he goes around and robs people and stuff. It's really cool. It's like a novelette. I haven't finished it quite yet, but who was the guy's name there? It's called The Sinister Sphere. And if I can find the name of the author, I'll try to share it here. Where are we at? Sinister Sphere.
Thank you, Nick. I've been trying to adjust the microphone. Let me know if it's any better.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, I think you are. It's by a guy named Frederick C. Davis. So I don't know.
Okay.
Some of the chat guys know that one. Anyway, this thing's chock full of it. I know Paul at Check Your Shelf has talked about the Domino Lady, and they got a Domino Lady story in here.
Oh yeah.
And there's just a ton of really cool stuff in there. And as you can see, it's almost 1,200 pages. So, you know.
That's huge, yeah.
According to Chadwick, it's a gazillion pages.
Yes, it is a gazillion pages. Yeah.
Definitely accurate.
Let's see.
Hey, Burn! I didn't see that Burn Enough was here. I must have been frozen during that. Hi, Burn Enough.
Yeah, he suggested some military
sci-fi.
Ghost Riders and Ghost Readers in the Sky says hello.
Hey, Greg.
Hey.
How you doing?
And thank you, Nick. Appreciate the feedback. The Moon Man is awesome. From Check Your Shelf.
Maybe Paul has this this collection as well. I need to look into see if because Paul, you're up on a lot of the people doing these pulp reprints on Amazon and such. I need to look into this Frederick Davis guy and see if he's got a Moon Man collection out, because apparently they're like 37 stories or something like that this guy wrote. It was a really. Have you heard of it? Have you seen this author around? There's the Moon Man in action right there. Oop, I didn't like the crack of that spine. That didn't sound good.
Just broke its back.
No. Sounds okay. Anyway, I didn't like the sound of that at all. This came all the way from England. Let's see. How many did he say he published? A bunch of them. 39.
I know
39 Moon Man adventures.
So. Yeah. They've got reprints because I intended it to buy some last year of Moon Man. I'm not sure how many volumes, but I think it collects 2 or 3 in each print.
That would sound right. Yeah, I'll look into that. Thanks, because that's how I found in the adventure one. That's how I found out about the Major, this guy in South Africa who went around and did adventures and stuff. And I love that story in that book so much that the Moonlight Collection on Bezos's website, but I've never seen a really good reprint collection.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, Paul, your audio is much, much better.
Thank you. I found the spot, and it was on automatic, and it wouldn't let me adjust it. I had to unclick something and adjust it manually.
You got it.
Yeah. So I actually, between books, I actually finished this week, and so I have reviews coming out. It should be Monday and Wednesday for Dogged from Michael R. Fletcher. That'll be out. It should be out Monday. It was supposed to be out last week, but it was one of those weeks. And then I just finished 1-800-Starship this morning. So
nice.
This is the second book in that series. That'll be out Wednesday. And then Friday, I plan on doing my paperback book haul for the month. I haven't done a paperback used book haul in a while, so hopefully that'll be out Friday. And so I'm like mostly between books. I'm actually reading on my Kindle another somebody I know from BookTube, one of their books. I'm not going to say who until I get the review up. And no, I don't have Weird Frequencies yet. I ordered it. It's here Wednesday. I delay all my orders.
Come on, Connor, let's do it. Let's put Paul to shame. We got over here across the world. We have our copy.
Mine won't be here until Wednesday. Everything got delayed.
Funny, Andreas, the people who are contributing got their copies later than me, and I'm in Japan, so of course it was printed here, so
Yeah,
it's not you can get stuff in Japan pretty quickly, so.
I live around the corner of a Amazon warehouse, so I can get stuff pretty quick if I get it off there.
That's handy. Represent. That's right. Yeah.
No, there's literally a warehouse, Amazon warehouse. Yeah, I can talk. On my way to work, about 5 minutes from my house.
But stop by and knock on the door, Paul, and say, "Hey, where's my Weird Frequency?"
For some reason, my stuff is coming in from across the country, and I don't know why.
Yeah, when I was living in the Northwest, Seattle was where at that time Amazon's chief warehouse was, and the stuff would always be being shipped around the country before it came back to me. So I can never figure out what they're up to.
I love how it works, eh?
Yeah.
So I know that Connor, you said you're a fantasy reader. You read a lot of fantasy, but not modern fantasy. And I know, Jeff, you also will represent old school fantasy and some old sword and sorcery. And as you know, I've cut way back on my modern fantasy reading and have started diving into the old stuff again. And so I was wondering, what is you guys' history on fantasy? What have you? What got you into? What did you read to get to that point in where you're reading? What you're reading in fantasy now?
You want to go first, Jeff?
Connor? No, you go ahead, Connor. Unless you want me to go first.
Well, so probably the main thing that got me into fantasy when I was reading. So I can't remember what I read when I was, a kid. Wow. But what really got me into fantasy is the Del Toro Quest series by Emily Rodda. This is an omnibus of the first series. I don't have the other two. These were the kind of books that got passed around a lot when I was in primary school. Among quite a few of us, I think like 15, 20 plus kids, because one kid, he was getting all this series and it would all get passed around and we'd all talk about it. So there was also Harry Potter, which I read too. But what Del Toro Quest was really the one that got my love of fantasy. Is just quest fantasy, the Evil Shadow Lord one, before the book really takes place. And so it's just down to a group of two, and they have a third join them, and they go around the magical land. And it's kind of like a video game in that each book almost has like the boss battle at the end, the guardian of like these magical gemstones that they have to reacquire and put back on a belt for the king to be able to overthrow their Shadow Lord. So I think that's kind of also what got me really into the books, because I was playing, like Legend of Zelda and Final Fantasy at the time. So I kind of had like that connection, I think, of passion there. And also the covers were always amazing, really cool art that really pops out. And so it was definitely Del Toro Quest that got me into that, with Harry Potter as well, at the time. And then through high school, didn't do a lot of reading. Then as I got older, there was a bit of Stephen King and that, but I think fantasy was always there. And I always liked the idea of fantasy and what it was. Loved the Lord of the Rings movies. I've listened to the audiobooks last year and this year, and just always wanted to get back into it. And so, because I don't do anything half, bought suddenly a lot of books, almost all fantasy and sword and sorcery in general, because I like the idea of like the shorter books and stuff, because I don't read a lot. So I thought, I'll get into the short books. And just, I'm enjoying that fantasy. I do have the Conan books in my shopping cart to buy when I can, those Del Rey ones. Because I love these 3 audiobooks I listen to, and definitely reignited my passion with reading and fantasy. And definitely plan on staying on that path with a bit of sci-fi and the military stuff on the side. So
I've been picking up more military sci-fi and stuff. I used to read it a lot at one point, especially when the Star Wars Extended Universe was out and the X-Wing series. I loved that. So I was reading a lot of that back then, and I kind of got out of the habit. And Burn Enough kind of reminded me it was out there, even though I had some of it. So I've been picking up more and more, having fun with that. So how about you,
I'm
Jeff?
amazed with that Burn Enough can keep every single video exactly 5 minutes. I don't know how he does it, but kudos to him.
Military discipline.
Yeah, I guess so. 'Cause I can hardly keep it, under 20 minutes. So
show military sci-fi some love.
There's a little bit of military sci-fi in this, but I've read some for sure. Of course, I've read some John Scalzi, Old Man's War stuff, and I'm familiar with a few other things like David Drake's what is her name? I can never remember her name. Honor Harrington. Harrington, yeah, and a few like that. I like what I've seen quite a bit. There was another Chris Bunch and Alan Cole did a series. I can't remember the title. That was pretty cool. It was about what was the guy's?
Oh, I know what you mean. I have that series somewhere.
Not the Roman Legion one, the other one, and it was about. It wasn't. I keep thinking of Star Wolf, of course, Edmund Hamilton's series. It wasn't that, but it was like that. It was some guy who was. It was like a military empire sci-fi thing. It was very cool.
I have it over there. I'm not going to go get up and go look for it. So,
Burn Enough. I don't know his name, but a real name, but Burn Enough can tell us, set us straight, I'm sure. But there was a big series with that about that character, and I had a buddy who was really into that. I have a friend. Shout out to Brian back in Oregon. That he's a huge military sci-fi guy.
Okay.
And he reads a lot of the modern stuff. As far as fantasy. It's kind of hard. I think I'm older than. Well, I guess Paul and I are about almost the same. Age. But anyway, it's hard for me to. It's hard for me. Connor's like about 30 or something, but I'm having a hard time reaching back in the dim recesses of my brain to find out when I really started. But I remember mostly probably reading a lot of animal stories and kids' books and things, and then encountering Edgar Rice Burroughs, who, to my mind, is basically fantasy. Really, I mean, it's science fantasy. But, I watched stuff like the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon, and Thundar the Barbarian was a massive influence on my reading habits. And I made a good friend. He's now no longer with us. He died a few years back. But my buddy Kelly, who was really into sword and sorcery, so he kind of, hey Jake.
Jake, pop it in and pop out.
Yeah, hit and run. Thanks, Jake. I've had to do that myself. So yeah, I kind of got into, and of course I saw the Hobbit animation movie. Stan, thank you.
Stan.
Yeah, that's right. The Wolf Worlds, I think one of them was called, if I remember right. That's where I was getting the wolf thing. Anyhow, so I watched that stuff. Was I got into the Hobbit movie, and one of me and my buddy's favorite movies as a kid was this pretty cheesy British show called Hawk the Slayer. This movie, Hawk the Slayer, which was kind of like was the closest we could get to kind of a D&D sort of movie. But I wasn't really into D&D much. I played a couple of times, usually with this same buddy who was basically a genius, really, and could pull stories out of his ass just like that and make be a dungeon master. Anyway, he introduced me to Kane, and Carl Williams Kane and Conan. It was a little edgy for me at the time. I was a little innocent child then, but I got into those things, and the Fafhrd and Grey Mouser, and of course. The big entry point for me was Terry Brooks' Sword of Shannara, which I was so proud of myself that I read this 800-page book, and I thought, wow, look at this. And then now I realize it's just slavishly copying, the every story beat pretty much, other than the kind of post-apocalyptic mild element to it, but that Brooks added. But Brooks was a solid writer, and I enjoyed that a lot. And I read Ursharak and some other things, and then I eventually got around to the real deal Tolkien. So, and of course, I read some C.S. Lewis, Narnia, and some more esoteric kind of fantasy stuff that I could find here and there. So Lynn Carter, of course, was a massive influence. Even though he's nowadays he's hard to read because he's also very much a pastiche guy. But he was really responsible in a lot of ways for kindling my love for this stuff. So I read all his Under the Green Star and the Callisto series and the Xanthodon series and all this stuff, and I read all those books multiple times. So he was. I didn't read his Thongor much, because I was at that stage not much of a sword and sorcery guy, but I like it quite a bit now. Anyway, I've jabbered on enough. How about you, Paul?
Loki came in to see me. He was the reason I haven't been able to shoot a few videos this week. He's been sick all week. He's finally
got a comment from Paul there.
Yeah.
Check your shelf.
Yeah, I saw. Let's see. Thundar is my favorite cartoon made in my lifetime.
Yes. Demon Dogs, Lords of Light.
I miss a lot of the '80s cartoons. I do try to collect them in DVDs. I have
that's one of the few that's worth it. It's got a Blu-ray set too, if you're into it.
I have the Dungeons and Dragons set. I have the Pirates of Blackwater set.
Oh yeah.
Remember
Pirates of Blackwater? That's one I missed somehow, and I've heard good things about it. But apparently,
they never
finished the story.
Yeah, the story was great. They never finished it though. But yeah, so for me, I think I've mentioned it before. I actually came across the novelization of the Conan movie.
Okay.
That was where I started. I think it was like 81, maybe. And I had never read
81, 82.
Yeah, I had never really read fantasy before. I didn't really know anything about fantasy. So that was the first. And the second would have been this book. I have it on the shelf. And you probably know the name by Jessica Amanda Selmanson. You've probably heard the name. She does collections. You were just talking about it the other day, I think, weren't you, Jeff?
Amazon's?
Yeah, Amazon's. Yes, the woman who did that. I don't have the book there, but the original book I read by her, one of the first fantasies I ever read was Swordswoman by Jessica Amanda Selmanson.
Amanda Selmanson, yeah.
Yeah, and it was her solo book. That and Conan were my first fantasy that I had read. That it got me into, I didn't see a lot of it after that. So, but I kept it in mind. And there was a lot of good fantasy movies during the 80s. So that kept me alive after that.
Sword and the Sorcerer, the Barbarian Brothers movie, which sucked, but I wouldn't call that good. But yeah, Dragon Slayer.
Yeah, so I mean, for me, I didn't have a lot of access to fantasy books. I could only have what I found in my school library and things like that at the time, until I discovered bookstores, and my buddy Dave started introducing me to a few other things. Check your shelf, Steve. Sorry he's late. No worries. No worries.
Good.
Hey Steve, how you doing? We got both. This is a rare case on the lives I've been on recently, where both Paul and Steve were here. Usually nice. Steve is good at showing up on the lives, but Paul's busy recording. But I think Paul did his Return of the Son of the Show yesterday. Is that right, Paul? Pretty sure you did that. Deathstalker. There you go. Deathstalker. Yeah.
Pirates of Blackwater.
Yes, okay.
Yes, Sword and Sorcery was great. Deathstalker. Yes. They made more than one of those, didn't they? There was more than one.
Yeah, there's at least 3.
They've just done I've got 4, and they've just done a reboot where Slash produced it.
God. There's also
it's a lot of fun. So
Paul cheats with their other friend on
Saturday. Yeah. I also the Beastmaster, of course. I remember the impact of seeing Tanya Roberts get out of the river topless in a PG movie was pretty impressive.
Yeah.
This is PG. Wow, we got boobies in here. Great. But I've always, like you guys, I've loved animals, so I always liked animals, animal companions in fiction. So I don't know what Andre Norton's book is like. I don't have her Beastmaster. I'd like to get it, but
I've read the first one.
Does it? There's more than one. Does it have any resemblance to the movie? Probably not. As far as the tiger, the hawk, and the 2 ferrets.
It's not even remotely. It more feels like a Native American story than it does medieval story. It feels more sci-fi and on a Native American planet than fantasy.
She had an interest in that, because wasn't there some book that has a wild, crazy cover that Jake laughed at on his channel with the
Beastmaster's on?
No, it's got the Beastmaster's on HBO. Hey, Beastmaster's on. That's right. Yeah. No, what's the one that has? It's like the. It's not. It's got some goofy title, and it's got a guy with like a hawk headdress or something on the
Spaceman.
Yeah, the Sioux Spaceman. That's it. Yeah. I knew it had something like that. Yeah. So she had an interest in that, I guess.
Like that. We have movies here.
Yeah. You like how I did that, Steve? Yeah, just kind of
very
trying to undo my un-PC comment there. Svengoolie is showing Duel. Hey, you don't want to miss Duel.
Oh man, I got a friend who's obsessed with Svengoolie. It's funny. I've never heard of him before. I met my other friend Paul. He sent me some stuff every once in a while. He lives on the other side of the state, and then suddenly I keep hearing about him. I never heard about him until recently.
No, this whole horror host thing was new to me because I don't think we had one in the Seattle area that I was aware of. I'm sure Chadwick can talk about that.
Sure, Mark's coming over.
But there are so many of these, and I know this Svengoolie is. I don't think he's the original Svengoolie, but there's all sorts of guys. There are people. When I got into this kind of horror space a little bit, this when I was reading Video Watchdog a lot and stuff, but and what things like that. Anyway, there was a, and it's still around. There's excuse me. There's a forum called the Classic Horror Film Board, and they have a whole section on horror hosts, and all these monster kids were talking about their local horror hosts and things, and that would host these movies. I was only familiar with the phenomenon really from Fright Night with David Vincent with his character Roddy McDowall.
This is the
son of Svengoolie. Yeah.
But you don't know Elvira? You're not familiar with Elvira?
I knew Elvira, but she wasn't quite like these. I mean, she was on the cable channel, wasn't she? So she was kind of bigger, more mainstream. I think these guys are more local, weren't they? Most of them. There was the guy, I forgot the guy's name. He wrote a pretty cool horror host. Yeah, it can get voluminous. Yeah, Chadwick would know very well. There was the guy, Chadwick, who's the guy that was in LA, and his show was pretty famous, and he wrote a book about kind of doing capsule reviews of horror stories. I forgot his name. I think he just recently passed away. Anyway, it's a whole wormhole, rabbit hole you could go down, and I just never saw any. We had a local kids show host called JP Patches out of Seattle. He was this guy who wear clown makeup, and he was supposedly coming out of, broadcasting out of a city dump or something. But I didn't remember any horror host at all. Yeah, those were great days, man. Growing up in the 70s when they had they had Jungle Theater and Sci-Fi Theater, and they played the Bowery Boys, and they played all these old shows. That's why, as a TV junkie kid, I read a lot, and played a lot outside, but I also watched a lot of TV, and I was exposed to all these old shows and new shows. They were all shows to me, right? So
our local one was called Gregory Gravewalker.
That's a good name.
He didn't actually do any intro stuff. They would just talk over him as he walked through the graveyard and stuff, and they'd have like a voiceover. So because they couldn't afford to give us like an actual host, so
that's funny. John Stanley, thank you. That's the guy. John Stanley, Creature Features. Yes. Thanks, Paul, for putting that up. Yep. Yeah, it was John Stanley. I have the Creatures Features movie guide buried back home somewhere. Well, maybe he hasn't passed, Chadwick. I might be wrong about that. So I thought I heard he had, but because he was getting up there. But maybe he's still kicking. I hope so. He seemed like a cool guy. Anyway, sorry. Please carry on, gentlemen. I got us down another side jaunt there.
It's all good.
You're doing something else. You're talking to somebody else there at the same time. You're texting away.
I'm trying to. I should use my phone. I was trying to find out about John Stanley and if he was still alive.
Yeah. So regarding fantasy now, I have, like I said, I have gotten away from the fantasy. I was reading a lot. There's a few people I will continue to read, but there was a time period. There was a whole giant section of my life from 2012 until probably this January where I was like reading like 60% fantasy. And I was reading all these same fantasy authors who they felt so much like the same. It was just the same story. And they were so forgettable. And I'd read through like 6-7 books and I couldn't remember anything I read. And so, like I said, and then the final straw was I got through Stormlight Archive in January and I said, I can't do this anymore. So I've like streamlined down to fantasy authors, modern fantasy authors that I know I trust and like, independent authors and a couple others. But I'm going back and I'm rediscovering the old stuff. I'm going back and reading the entire collection from Robert E. Howard and Elric. I just reread Elric not too long ago through the whole thing, and I bought the deluxe edition. So I'm going back and rediscovering that and finding out how much I love this. And the thing is, there's still authors doing fantasy well without the bloat and without the doing the same thing, and that's so that'll be coming up on my channel. There are a few authors that still have that unique touch, that unique sound,
that's right,
and are not trying to imitate each other. And so those are the fantasy people I'm going to keep reading. So like Michael R. Fletcher and Mark Lawrence, and a few others that I find have a unique voice and have a different. And every time they put out a series, there's something about it that I can attach myself to. But as far as modern fantasy, yeah, the mainstream stuff you won't be seeing out of that on my shelf anymore.
There's too much good old stuff I haven't got to yet for me to get to that. But I'm glad that you're out there scouting out the newer authors and letting us know who the good ones might be. So I appreciate that. I know Criminale has done some of that for me with some more modern crime writers and stuff.
Jerry G. Bishop eventually gave Rich Kaz his blessing to take up the mantle of Svengoolie. Okay.
Yeah, and Steve, check your Steve's right. I did greatly exaggerate John Stanley's death. He's still alive. Sorry, I thought he had passed away, but he's still kicking. Good on him.
Rumors of his death may be greatly exaggerated.
Yeah, by Jeff. Yeah, sorry about that. Don't want to spread misinformation. Athon Books.
Yes, I'm actually looking into Athon Books now. I have their. I know Dirk Ashton, who is an author I've been talking to on Facebook, and his friends. He's kind of a fan of them, so I'm looking into Athon Books. It's something I am checking out. I'm keeping a track of and seeing what they're putting out. So it's something I'm going to dip into a little bit in the future. Right now, I don't know if I want to spend too much time getting into new stuff when I have such a backlog of such a TBR to read yet.
Yeah, it's a pretty massive TBR I have as well. So a lot going
on.
It's getting bigger.
Have you heard of this J.R. Blaine's guy, Paul?
No. Just wrote a Southern Gothic horror tale. No, him I don't know. I haven't heard that one, but I'll have to take a look. Not right now, because.
Yeah, Paul, I watch your book hauls and I go, holy shit, man, how do you read all that stuff?
I don't. I make stats.
You got like about 55 books per haul. I'm like, wow.
Mostly planes. Yeah. No, well, that's the thing is, when I get a little obsessive and I'm trying to catch up because I was doing so much one way, and I'm trying to go back and get the old stuff. And I have a bookstore that had piles and piles of stuff, and he'd be like, "Hey, Paul, I got new stuff in." It's like, well, you bastard.
Yeah, well, I envy you guys for your access to those bookstores. Well, I mean, I'm assuming Connor has some good access, but I'm so, hey, Mark, how you doing? I'm glad you could make it.
Better than
I got another batch. Speaking of hauls, it's a very small one, a Del Rey one. It was interesting. These lots I got from this same seller. Unfortunately, he must be leaving Japan because he had selling other stuff on Yahoo Auction. But he had all Dawes in one lot. He had all Avons in one lot. He had all Del Rey, and it's an interesting but very cool lot. And then he got the ones I lost the bid on for this other guy who was rabid for him were his 2 ace lots. So it's an eclectic collection, but they're I don't think he ever even touched them or read them hardly. They're so pristine. It's great.
Steve is just glad Richard's here too. Richardson Reads is here too.
Yeah, it's there's no bad time to join.
All right. No, but so like I said, yeah, the fantasy that's out now is completely different, and that's why you guys have been reading some of the back catalog. And I saw kind of you're touching on a lot of the 80s stuff.
Yeah. I've got just like the 80s fantasy books and that. I've got a bunch of the Gord the Rogue, Grey Hawk stuff, Gary Gygax's character.
Yeah.
So I did also recently get the collection of Hawkmoon. I got that hardcover as well. Yes, I'm missing. I think
Florian Hawkmoon, the Moorcock's Hawkmoon. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. I'm planning on doing a book haul. I've just been accumulating over the last 6 months, but that was one of them. Just a hardcover of Hawkmoon. I thought because I because I'd read a bit of Elric a few years ago. This other guy I'd worked with, he'd read them growing up, and he said, "Oh, you should read these." And I got to, I think, I'm not sure what order they were in these collections. I know there's chronological and published and stuff. I got to about the third one, and I was just kind of drifting out of my reading again, and I didn't follow through with it. But seeing everyone talk about Michael Moorcock again, And I do like the idea of this interconnected multiverse he's got in the Eternal Champion. But I settled on Hawkman first because there's only 4 directly in his series.
Well, unless you want to get into the Count Brass sequels, I guess. But yeah.
Yeah. But I thought I could just get the 4 in that one hardback that, would hopefully be
kind of
nice.
short and clinchy novels too, kind of like the Elric ones.
And
Elric ones are all like about 150 pages. So Mount
I think
Sundoku, yeah.
So that's what I did Monday. My week has been so messed up. I was going to delay my videos because I had to clean up this room, and I literally have 5 tubs of books that I'm moving to the attic out of this room alone.
Wow.
So yeah, my TBR has gotten a little out of hand, and I have to start get that under control. I may do 100 books, one of those challenges for the beginning of the year, just to slow it down.
Don't do a Michael K. Vaughan 500 book challenge.
500,
That's a bit extreme.
That would take me the rest of my life. 500 books at least, right?
Not Mike Hawkmoon, no, just Hawkmoon. Dorian Hawkmoon.
Yeah,
come on.
Yeah,
yes, behave yourself, Steve. But he's trying to bring it back. Just asking questions. Nothing to see here.
Gentlemen, no fights.
Goat Man, hey.
How you doing, Goat Man? I hope everyone is well, or at least not in a dire situation.
Not in a dire situation at the moment. Now that my internet is moved out. I don't know what it is about, the first few minutes of a stream where I have trouble, but it seems to be stabilized.
You're getting old. It's harder to get the stream started now.
Oh, yeah. Good one, Paul. Well, I was asked Connor, or recommended Connor, they're not short. I think I mentioned it in my channel briefly, and I haven't read all of them by any stretch because they're monsters. But Steven Erickson, his fantasy books are pretty. Let's see if I can get them. I'll do
the Malazan ones.
Yeah, the Malazan Book of the Fallen. I collected the first 4 because I had a friend who was here in Japan who really loved them. I think it's Gardens of the Moon is the first.
Right. Yeah, I've heard about those. Every time I see a really thick book, though, I'm intimidated by it.
Yeah, and as they notice, first one. Here's the first one, right?
Yeah.
And then by the time we get to the 4th one,
yeah, see that.
It's got like 17 of these suckers. I mean, seriously, 1,270, 80 pages or something. I mean, he's a writer, but they're just.
His friend wrote a series based on the same world too, didn't he? Like an offshoot, because it came from a GURPS game or something.
Paul probably knows this more, yeah.
Esselmont wrote another series in that. Esselmont.
Yeah. It's quite dense, and this first one, is a relatively slim volume of 657 pages. So, it's...
Oh, man, he's going to wait for the graphic novel before trying Malazan. Yeah, so here's the deal. When I was doing the whole fantasy thing, I bought the entire Malazan series, and now it sits in a box in my attic because I heard about it so much from every fantasy channel. It's like, I'm not reading this. What's the point? I mean, it's like, that's all you've talked about, that and Wheel of Time. So I read like the first three books in Wheel of Time. I'm like, why do people like this? It's not that good. So
I think I could tell why people would like this. It's well written, but it's just on such a massive scale. He says, oh, you think Tolkien when it worked on an epic scale? Let me weave in like 3 different planets and 75 different cultures and flipping flopping between them. It's a really impressive piece of work, but in that regard, but it is a commitment. So I stopped after the Toll the Hounds one. In fact, I don't think I even bought this one. I think it was just sitting on one of my university shelves, but there's somewhere in here they have he tries to do the map out of the world, but I think there was some sort of, the dramatis personae. And when you have 4 pages of character cast list and stuff, you get an idea.
Yeah,
it's an impressive feat of imagination, really, but it's just a bit too much. But I would recommend it if you want to try a chunker.
Okay, well, that's 3 books in one. This omnibus collection. So
What is that?
I
What's the
think
book?
this is the third one in the Swords of Bremen by Robert E. Vardaman. If anyone
Okay.
hasn't seen, I've been like collecting this guy's works, and he's got 3 volumes of this for the whole series, and it's 9 books. So when that's 3 books, it doesn't scare me off as much. So
No, I hear you. This
yeah.
is my reading recently. I like them thin.
Yeah.
I just like short chapters. Let's see. Oops,
That's all the characters I need: Dick, Jane, and Spot. Yeah. Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I love the idea of the fantasy and the big things and all that world building and explore. Love the idea of it, but whenever I go to approach it to read it, I've even got the first Stormlight Archive on Audible. I'm just like, it's so big, and then I don't. So, but part of that's probably too because I'm such a slow reader, and that probably is what intimidates me, and where I just pick something that's a lot shorter. I don't feel it's as much of not a chore, but just less intimidating to get through. So I tend to go for the thinner books at the moment.
I think it's kind of a phase we readers go through. I think there's a time, especially maybe in a teenager or young in the 20s age, where you really like this idea of a long cycle that you can spend a lot of time in this world. But as I get older, I want, I'm really appreciating the one and done kind of story. I don't mind an overall arc, but like when I watch an old TV show, I know I'm going to invest 50 minutes or something and it's going to be done. The story's going to be wrapped up probably pretty satisfactorily in 50 minutes or so. And I'm not going to have to watch 42 episodes to get the whole story. Not that I don't like serialized storytelling. It can be done really well. I think it's just overdone now, and they've lost the touch. Writers and filmmakers and script writers have lost the touch of wrapping up a story in a short time, I think.
Mr. Stewart Richardson reads and got through the 5th volume. Goatman only got through the first one, so yeah, understood.
I don't think Jordan is that great of a writer. He's okay. He's fine. He's not bad. He's just serviceable, I think, kind of like a Terry Brooks, I guess. But you read a Tolkien, yes, and Tolkien. Someone was making cracks about Tolkien, on another channel, or comments on another channel. I was looking at the other day that he's much more flowery or whatever. But he's a great writer. He's got terrific prose, right? So
I actually liked Jordan's standalone take on Conan, Warriors of Altair, better than I liked.
He wrote a couple Conans, didn't he? Did he do more?
Yeah, it's Conan, but not Conan. It's like his Conan with the generic name.
I see.
Yeah,
because I know he wrote a couple of Conans as well, right? David Gemmell. Yeah, I've heard such good things about Gemmell, and I haven't tried him out. I need to, though. He was another 80s, 90s guy, right? Yeah, there was that boom that Brooks filled that void and kind of kicked it off, and then there was Dennis McKiernan with I forgot the name of his series, and there was the Neil Hancock Circle of Light series, and there were all these guys, Eddings and Gemmell and all these guys coming out. And of course, the Redwall books, to name check Tim's favorite. we're kind of filling that juvenile side of it, I guess.
I did collect some Gemmell, and I'm going to get to them. Legend's been on my shelf forever, and I want to read it. That's coming.
I've heard a lot about Legend.
Let's see. Better in short stories. I don't like fantasy.
Goatman's got some good slam on Jordan there.
See. I read through a David Gemmell trilogy. It was good. Yeah. I keep hearing he's good, and I'm going to try it.
Next one, Paul. Yeah.
Robert Jordan would be fine in a battle, and he would be covered in so much padding he couldn't get hurt. Funny. Winter Warriors is a great standalone by Gemmell for anyone looking to get into him. Yeah, I'm definitely going to be reading him coming up. I've collected his stuff and keep putting it off, and I don't read till it's just how it ends up, and I do want to get to Gemmell.
I think Uncle Jimmy on Newspaper Gelding reviewed something by Gemmell sometime this summer, and it sounded interesting. So, and yeah, Mark's read pretty much everything. It seems like that guy is a very well read fella. If If you haven't checked out his channel, Richardson Reads, it's a great channel. He talks about maritime history and other history, and then he'll talk about Star Wars and Star Trek and David Gemmell and all that. So he's got a nice wide variety. I like that.
Yeah, us eclectic readers tend to be all over the place.
Yeah, you're extremely widely read as well, Paul. That's for sure. I know you tried a few nonfiction videos, and maybe that you didn't think they floated that well for readers, but I think it's cool. You should bring them up once in a while.
Every once in a while, I will. Yeah, like I said, I've been working on experimenting. This year, next year, my channel is going to feel much more streamlined. I think, because I'm getting the idea what works and what doesn't. It takes a little time to get to the flow when you're trying a bit of everything. So, Connor, is that are you going to specialize in anything coming up? Are you planning on reading any special genre? Or you got a little all over the place?
No.
Fantasy,
Pretty much. There's going to be a lot of fantasy in general, but just reading what I've got, and some of it will, might be an outlier. Like I just had a Gothic come in the mail the other day, because I feel like jumping on that train as well.
I'm curious about that too. I never thought I would be, but Nick's videos and Eric, Paperback Warrior,
definitely draw me into that, and then I go down a rabbit hole and start getting lots of it. And Jeff's passion of the older like crime, like what Agatha Christie stuff, and then Nick with Margray and all that. That all interests me as well. So just whenever I read, I guess.
I think you're going to be studying a lot next year and trying to focus. Is probably good just to pick on something that's really calling to you, Connor, that it motivates you to read. Yeah, that's a good comment. Yeah. Well, yeah, it's obvious that he knows more than you, Steve. But you are indeed the funny guy, the comic relief.
The comic relief. Yeah.
Yeah, you're the one that you shelf. Yeah, no, you have good thoughts about things. It's fun to see your. Okay, see you, Paul. Go see Dennis Weaver sweating fear from the monster truck, or monster, semi. Well, I think that's cool though, Steve, with your channel, because Paul knows a lot of the stuff he's bringing onto the channel, introducing to you. But it's fun to see kind of a newbie's take on it. Someone who's well read in other fields, but taking on this stuff and giving their perspective. So I think that works well.
So you said Agatha Christie you were going to get more into?
Oh yeah, Jeff's definitely with those couple of videos he's done has just really sold me, and a lot of that stuff sounds really cool too. Like I've seen the one movie of Murder on the Orient Express, like the latest one, but her name was always kind of in the back of my mind. And then with Jeff's video he did too, I was like, oh, these actually sound like a lot of fun. And so, that's on the sideline somewhere if I ever find nice and cheap. There's probably no real focus just going through what I've got, but I do have a lot of fantasy followed by sci-fi, and then just a couple of other things. Like I've got a few kung fu books as well, and those will be smattered throughout. But it's just got
Connor. Is that why you're interested in kung fu books?
Sorry,
do you practice kung fu? Is that why you're interested in kung fu?
Not at all. I love martial arts movies a lot, and want to watch more of the older Shaw Brothers stuff.
Shaw Brothers, they got beautiful Blu-ray sets coming out from those.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of those. And I was like,
announced, so yeah.
There should be. There isn't enough Australian ninja. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, but there was an Australian martial artist named Richard Norton who went in appeared in a lot of Hong Kong movies, usually as bad guys, white bad guys, taking on Yin Biao or others. And then he was in the Cynthia Rothrock China O'Brien series, and he just passed away earlier this year. He sounds like a swell guy. Richard Norton. Yeah, I think he was living in the US.
I just love the martial arts. That's what those movies, and I've started getting some Cynthia Rothrock stuff as well. And so and it's just like, if these are really fun movies, there could be really fun books. So I grabbed a few of those.
Translate though. I wonder how they have to be really good at describing the kung fu action. That's a Nick
Oh, yeah.
Book Graveyard question because he's reading. What is it? What's that ninja series that Nick likes?
Ninja Master.
Ninja Master. That's
yeah.
Oh, man. Wolf in Shadow was the first book in the trilogy. David Gemmell. I did not realize it was 2 books in one. Then went to the library and did a power read through to sit through. The last one.
wow, from opening to closing. That's cool.
Wow.
Well, I never tried that.
Have you ever heard of Angel of Destruction, the martial arts movie?
No.
Find it one night.
One of those '80s kung fu movies, but I'm not familiar with Angel of
Find
Destruction.
it one night when the women folk have went to bed and sit down and watch it.
I see. Okay.
That was an '80s kung fu exploitation movie.
One of those Category 3 ones that was released in Hong Kong.
It's considered just an absolutely horrible B movie, but I was absolutely fascinated at the physics of the kung fu scene where she was having this martial arts battle as she woke up naked, and the physics of it was quite interesting.
Very fascinating, I'm sure, Paul. They were fascinated by something anyway. I remember the series Naked Killer, which was pretty.
No, it was a serious look at the muscular structure and movement during martial arts.
Very serious.
Yes, it was a deep dive into.
Heather, honey, I'm making a scientific study of anatomy.
That's what it was. It was using martial arts moves, the way so you could see how the muscles in the body moved and what it just gave you a lot of detail on how to. Yeah, on the kata forms.
The contribution to science. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, no, the Hong Kong Category 3 movies are notoriously crazy. Yeah. Always cost me money. Picked up some Titan Conan today when I was supposed to be getting presents for the family. Merry Christmas to me, Mark. That's what it is. Oh, yeah.
Hey, you got to look after yourself, right?
The new Titan Conan is good again. I know they were for a while there. They were sucking apparently, but apparently they're back in the right hands and doing some good stuff. Mid 80s was all ninjas all the time. Yeah. I remember Shokazugi.
Late 70s and into the 80s, sure.
Movies, and they had Ninja 3, the Minion or something like that. Yeah.
But honestly, there's if you like martial arts movies, no, all jokes aside, there's this movie. It doesn't get a lot of attention, but it's everywhere. But nobody pays attention to it because of the title. It's called Chocolate.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I've seen Chocolate. It's good.
That movie is fantastic.
It's a Thai. Okay. She's a Thai kickboxer, like kind of Ong Bak, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And
okay.
She's kind of like on the spectrum, and she learns by watching other martial artists. And every fight she goes into,
that's a cool movie.
Takes a different famous martial artist from Bruce Lee to Jet Li to.
She uses all their different styles, but she's a Thai boxer originally, I think. But yeah, that is very very weird and interesting, and some great fights. She fights some other son of a bad guy who's also mentally handicapped or something, and they have some massive battle at the end. Yeah, it's very cool, Connor. I recommend it. If you've seen Ong Bak 1 and 2, 2 is not very good, but the first Ong Bak,
I've seen the first one. That was amazing.
She's almost as good. She's really good.
And it has the after credits scene as well, where the mess ups and stuff.
Yeah, where they have all the they get
brutal.
Yeah, it's like watching the Jackie Chan outtakes where he's cracked his skull.
And he keeps injuring himself.
Do you know where Jackie Chan got the idea to do that?
No.
I actually found that out just yesterday. Jackie Chan took that idea from his appearance in Cannonball Run.
Ah, okay. Did they do that in the Cannonball Run?
Yeah, Cannonball Run. They did that at the end of Cannonball Run, and he was in the Cannonball Run. Yeah, and
it's a good movie.
And said that he liked it so much, he had so much fun with that he took that idea to use it in his movies.
Okay.
Yeah, in the 90s, I was living in Seattle, and they would play all these. They'd have these Jackie Chan and other martial arts Hong Kong film festivals. And man, last year in school, local kickbox champion showed us his winning fight video. He kept fast forwarding the tape to show him another guy just kicking each other for over an hour. Very tough. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Though the real fighter guys are tough.
Yeah.
Yeah. No I have a second degree black belt in Taekwondo, but I haven't done it for a while. I taught it for a while in the States, and I was really into it as a kid and as a young guy. But
Yep.
My parents never let me do it until I went to college, and I was doing it on my own. But and I just, it's funny. I went to Korea to teach English for a while, and I stopped, the home of Taekwondo, and I stopped doing Taekwondo then. So, but because to them, it's like soccer. It's like a kid sport, right? So, but then everyone, all the guys have second or third degree black belts because they're all in the military, right? So you don't want to get in a fight with the Korean guy on the street by any stretch. I'd see them sometimes get drunk at night, kicking each other savagely. I'm with you, Gold Man. I like the movies. I've always liked martial arts movies.
Yeah,
Bloodsport and Kickboxer with Van Damme in the theater.
Oh yeah.
In fact, Bloodsport, me and my buddy sat there, watched the movie, then stayed in the seat and watched it again. So they never checked this out back then.
I took Taekwondo in high school as well. It was a martial arts studio right by my high school, and I lived pretty far away, so there's another excuse not to go home. I would go and I started taking martial arts there.
Okay.
Sailor Steve Costigan, fighting stories. Yeah, you wouldn't think boxing would be interesting, but Howard can make anything interesting, pretty much.
Yeah, that's one I find interesting. Like as you were saying with the kung fu books as well, how something that's so visual, how would that translate in text? So I've been meaning to read the Costigan stories as well.
Yeah, you need to be someone who's skillful at action, and Howard is about as good as you can get at action.
Because there's a boxer, right? Too. So.
And also, he's got Costigan's kind of humorous voice, describing scenes, and kind of over exaggeration and underplaying in equal measure. So, if someone has skill for action, there are a lot of writers who do. I mean, that's another thing. Lee Child, who does the Reacher books. Not all the Reacher books are great, but he does action very well. So we got off field a little bit there, Paul. Sorry, we're kind of taking you around to different aspects. Yeah, he can make watching paint dry interesting. Yeah, he'd make somehow something crazy be happening there. Well, talking about plans for the next year, Boxing Ghost Story. Yeah.
Ghost Story.
I think they talked about. Didn't you and Paul talk about that on your recent Howard Boxing Stories video? I thought there was it the Iron Man? Was that the ghost one where the ghost of the black boxer comes and gives the main character, who's also black, I believe, kind of inspiration or something in the ring?
Okay.
Yeah, I need to read some more of the straight boxing stories too. Yeah, the apparition. Sorry, it was the apparition in the ring. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. As far as plans for next year, Paul, I guess to try to bring us back to that, since I'm the one that gets us off. I'm the one that gets us off track all the time. Sorry, but
it's all right, Jeff. That's why you're here.
I'm going to pretty much continue doing what I'm doing. I kind of went a little in the prize ring. Yeah, I went a little whole hog, a little maybe more than I had attended on BookTube events, reading events, and stuff. But I enjoyed them a lot. I think I've found the way to do it is not to go overboard and be satisfied with maybe just reading one book for an event, because I wasn't going to do anything in January, and they've got Haggard, H. Rider Haggard this January, so I'll show those in my next book haul. But yeah, Michael K. Vaughn's jumping on that, is getting in on that, because he doesn't have enough projects. He needs a few more. But I got a batch of Haggard novels. I already have several, but not too many here, and so I got a bunch in the She cycle. So I'll try to read one of those. But mostly, I'm going to keep doing what I've been trying to do, which is read more of the older pulp stuff. Continue to read classic mystery. I am going to try to get to some more nonfiction. I didn't get as much nonfiction. I got a couple memoirs from Gerald Durrell read this year. Yeah, everyone. I always wonder, Steve, if you're picking on Michael K. Vaughan or being serious or whatever. But yeah, I do like Michael K. Vaughan very much. He's a real sweet guy.
Who doesn't like Michael K. Vaughan? I mean,
how could you not? How could you not? I think Steve just likes to tease him, but yeah, by saying everyone's favorite booktuber, but I think he probably is most people's favorite booktuber, or one of them anyway.
Well, it's probably the first booktuber I ever found when I was looking around BookTube and just inspiration for reading and learning about books. I found him first, and then
it's a form of respect. I thought so, Steve. Yeah. No, he's great. Yeah, he's probably one of the main motivating factor to get me to start. At least back in, he got me into he's very endearing, and he's very self-deprecating, and I love his he'll say something ridiculous and then he'll look at the camera like, did you catch that? I was being stupid or cheeky there, you know.
Yeah.
And also he's, there's not a lot of guys. Steve Donahue's another one who can just turn the mic on, the camera on and talk without hardly making any mistakes. And he's got that down pretty well. He does make mistakes like we all do, but I don't think he does much editing. And that's pretty impressive. I have to edit like a son of a bitch to make mine make any coherent sense. But,
it depends what I'm doing. If I have to, if I'm doing a rant, I just talk off.
Oh yeah, your rants. You can tell you're just in the Zen flow, man.
Yeah, but if I'm doing a review, I have to. I mean, in the middle, I stop and pause and try to gather. I don't take notes. I don't.
Well, I'll be like, I take notes, but still, I'll go, what was that damn character's name? And I'll go, and look in the book, and so I got to snip that out, So I just try to make it not so choppy, if at all possible. But yeah, I want to get some more nonfiction. I want to get. I'm going to do more live streams. They're a lot of fun.
You've been doing a good output of those, Jeff. Yeah, live streams, almost weekly, right? The last few weeks.
My editing is a video stutter fest. That was Goat Man.
Sorry, guys. I think I froze again. Yeah.
It's all good.
I think I froze again, but yeah, thank you, Connor. Yeah, I'm enjoying it. If you ever start it, it's really fun. Paul's getting the buzz already, I think, from having one. I could tell how excited he was last week when he was doing his first one. So it's pretty cool.
It's why one of the reasons I wanted to do this, and not that I have a lot of people watching at the moment, but next year I do have. I'm planning on doing 1 to 2 a month, where I interview authors. I have a bunch of authors who have already agreed, and others who I'm talking to who want to come on and do it. And I have some booktubers I'd like to do in between too that I want to talk to. So it should be fun. I like the lives. I like the back and forth. It's harder for me just to talk at a camera and get my point across. It's conversation is easier than talking at the camera. So.
I think you're doing fine, but I can see why you would want to have your wife there for the first one, just in case, because it is a little nerve-wracking the very first time. So that's why I was glad that David from Garage Geek was nice enough to help me out there, and he's done plenty of them at that stage. So he gave me some good advice, and he was a good calming influence there. So, I think a few things I want to try to get through Moby Dick one of these years. And Jules Bird had an awesome video about how to do that. And I'm sure Mike MKV watches you guys, Steve. I'm sure he gets around when he has time. He's a busy guy. So I'm amazed he can even do as much as he can do.
Your live was great. Who would you mean, Steve? Are you talking about me?
Probably means you, Paul. Yeah. Steve was one of the nice guys who showed up at my very first live. I think that was at a weird time of day because of that's the thing with David at Garage Geek's schedule. He was seeing a concert or something, so we did it at like 11 o'clock at night at PST. And I think you were there, Paul.
Yeah, I was there.
And I think Connor, you showed up, and Rob at L Space Archives, and Deb, also in Australia.
I didn't know you were doing it. I actually was. Went up and took a shower. It was like 3 a.m. and I was going to go shoot a video while everyone else is in bed. And I was waiting for my hair to dry. I saw you were doing a video, and I sat down. I was like, "Oh, let's watch this." And I never shot my video.
Sorry about that, but thanks for tuning in. Because I got about 9 or 10 people that late at night, but it was fun because some of the Australian people could get in, and other vampires like Rob at L Space and stuff. So that was fun, and I didn't really want a lot of people watching at once in case I messed it up. So but it was good. But yeah, I think I'm going to try. I only read one audiobook this year. I don't do a lot of audiobooks, but I'm going to try Moby Dick on audio. I got this Audible version of this kind of set of classics, and they're narrated by real proper British actors, and they're read by, I should say. And I don't think Stephen Fry does Moby Dick, but
I'll be frozen.
Ah.
Poor Jeff with his terrible internet. All right, so Connor, what is I'll wait till he goes back. What is your what's your plans for next year for the channel?
Okay, Jeff, you're back. You're all good.
Yeah, sorry guys. Just carry on as if I was just looking at you and listening, because I will be just staring at the screen. So
yeah, what's your plans for next year, Connor, for the channel? Give us so we can get some subscribers over there to watch you do your thing.
All right, so as we already know with the study, talked about that, but because I have Audible, I'm hoping to keep up on the audio books and do that. So I have some reviews for the Deathlands books coming up. I've listened to the first 6 of those, so I'm probably going to do a review of 2 books at a time for that.
that's kind of a men's adventure, post-apocalyptic.
Yeah. So post-apocalyptic stuff. The world was destroyed. 2000 or 2001 nuclear war, basically, and it's just extremely violent stuff. It is fun. It's good listen, but I actually found I had to take a little bit of a break because of just how violent it gets. And they're not just so it's not just someone reading the book. It is a full dramatization of it, with actors and everything. So you do get some sound effects, and torture scenes get very descriptive, and you hear the actors screaming and stuff. So
that doesn't sound very pleasant. No, yeah.
I've stepped away from that for a bit. They're very enjoyable. There's just lots of action and stuff. But I've just stepped away from that for a little bit because of kind of the violence overload. But I want to get back to that. I do want to get back into the Clive S. Kane series, which I talked about, the Warhammer 40k stuff. I want to continue that. But then the 2 books that I've read this year that I really didn't like, which was the Circus of Dr. Lao and the one I'm just about to finish, As the Curtain Falls. I'm actually going to use those 2 books. I don't know if I'll do them as shorts or if I'll do it over a time lapse or something, but I'm going to go to those free little libraries where I leave those 2 books, put them out there, and then take 2 books, kind of do some trade-ins and stuff and see where I go with that. And any books I don't like, I can pass them on to other people by free little libraries. And
is that a hint about your feelings on the Circus of Dr. Lowe?
Oh, definitely. I don't think I'll be going back to that one.
I
and just saying what I could find
it with Tony Randall, but I think the book's much darker and stranger.
Yeah, I've heard the movie's a lot of fun, so I'm thinking of visiting that. But just seeing what I could find out there by trading away, whether I find anything that I've been meaning to find, or if I come across something new. Just figuring out, how I want to film that, whether it was shorts or like I said, or a few, and just kind of wait till I've done a few and put them all together. And just seeing whatever I can do. You got, most of Weird Tales is up on Internet Archive. So I've got a few of those lined up I want to read, as well as Amazing Adventures and that. I've actually got one I started reading, War of the Giant Apes. It was it's Amazing Adventures. I think Nick put it up. He got
Fantastic Adventures. Yeah. Had the big white ape on the cover with the car or something. Yeah, that was an awesome cover. Yeah.
And so I've got that story. I just started reading that. And another one that his wife pulled up of Weird Tales from Pulp Fest. Vengeance in a Bones, the rogue ship. The cover had this tugboat or something on the front. Amazing artwork all the time. And it's got this big cracked face with mouth and hands coming out. And I'm like, what the heck is that about? So I've got that lined up as well. And just, some of the short, free stuff, the pulp stuff, planning on reading because I'm gonna have less free time. I plan on reading some more of those short stories, maybe doing like a review where I do two that might have a similar theme, or just completely random and just diving through those as well and seeing how I go. But a lot of them sound really fun, so I just take whatever my fancy, hit random or something, and just go down through that way and just do what I can in the less free time I'm going to have over the next year or two, and just see how it goes.
Hey,
For sure, yeah.
Hello, Glock. Warhammer is not something I'm probably not going to get into. Not because I have a problem with it, but I just don't want to dive into something that big when I already have so much.
So many books. Yeah, sometimes you kind of have a little trepidation, like, do I really want to start this and go down this other rabbit hole when I got all this other stuff to read? But I think Tim talked about the Warhammer series on his channel in the past, and Secret Fire Books. I know he's a fan, so that'd be cool to see. I've heard that there's a big fan base for that.
Yeah,
there's a lot. I've approached it kind of like how with comics, where I'm wanting to pick like a particular series in those universes, because
start.
So I'm not going to read it. I'm not going to read everything, and I'm just see how I go with that. Yeah,
comics are intimidating too. I did that recent video where I was asking for advice, and I think I'm just going to stick on little runs like those DC compact comic lines and some epic collections, and still hasn't come in yet. I have the Commandy Last Boy on Earth coming the first fall. Sorry, Paul, you're trying to say something.
Oh, I was going to say try the graphic. Just pick up the graphic novels instead of trying to collect everything. And
I want to stay focused on a run or some stories. I'm liking what I'm seeing there, because the individual issues it's just an individual title. There's so many titles and things. I just couldn't keep up with them that way.
I've got one omnibus.
Oh, nice.
It's DC 1 million.
That's huge.
It's 1.1 pages.
Sorry?
So what? 1 million?
1,600, 1,400 pages or something?
Oh, it's something like that. It's huge. Going on a tangent there with the comics and like limited runs or, runs by a particular author. I also kind of like the idea of like the alternate world kind of stuff where they can really get creative. Because, I know a lot of like the main line stories and all that of the main characters. So something a bit different like DC 1 million really interests me. So I got this on sale last year, I think it was. I haven't read it yet, but that's probably one that I will plug through next year and probably do a video on that as well. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, that's fine. Those omnibuses look great. I'm planning to get a few. They're quite expensive here in Japan, probably because of the shipping from overseas. But I will, when I'm back home next summer, I'm planning to maybe pull the trigger on the Alpha Flight one, because I remember Alpha Flight fondly. And that's a good way to get a big chunk of it. I don't even know how to pronounce that name, so I'll just say Sup. Also, we had another guy before, Paul, who I didn't recognize, maybe one of your subscribers there, Grozny Slovo. Hello, Grozny Slovo.
I've heard Eisenhorn was good as well. Hello, Grozny.
Eisenhorn. Hello. Is that a title? Is that an author?
It's part of the Warhammer series.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, Goldman was saying that there's like little mini.
Yeah, Glock. It's morning where they are. It's nighttime where I am, Glock.
I'm not sure where Glock is. Glock is American, right? I think he's American.
Yes, Glock is. Yes, he's from what? PA. You're from the PA area, right, Glock?
Yeah, because I think I remember him having a booth or something, or he saw the guys at Pulp Fest, so he must have.
Yeah, he was there.
Yeah, that's right. Because sometimes it's hard to tell where everyone's from. Trying to remember who's Canadian, who's Scottish, or English, who's Australian, South African, in Japan. Definitely not Japanese, but in Japan. There is a Japanese booktuber I found who collects comics and has a channel. He seems pretty cool. He collects manga. I'm not. I know Paul's read quite a bit of manga. I'm not a huge manga fan. I think they're cool. I know they've taken over the comic section in Barnes and Noble back home. They're quite, which is why I guess the DC Compact Comics line kind of were designed the way they are to kind of appeal to manga fans. I think it's working. Apparently, they're selling really well.
Yeah, I've got some manga.
The thing with manga is I love the way it starts, but for me, as it goes, it gets less and less interesting. And the longer I read, the less I like it. But they always start great. It's just
Yeah.
the
It depends
longer
on the series. I know they tend to go on and on like a lot of comic series, but like my wife is a big fan
just
of
look at One Piece.
the Demon Slayer one, and that one's got like 24, and that's it. It's done, right? So they tell this really epic story in a limited number of books. So, and there's other things. There's like this. Maybe you've heard of it. They did a live action as well as an animated version of Diary of a House Husband. Have you guys heard of this one?
Yeah, I've seen that.
The animation is really funny. It's this former Yakuza badass killer who's retired, and but he approaches his house husbanding in the same kind of manner. Like he goes to this, they ask him to read a Santa Claus Christmas story to the local kids class. And he's telling it like they're bringing offerings to the Oyobun, to the top boss, and with their hand out like that, and the kids are just sitting there with their eyes bulged open as he's talking about all this stuff. And the guy who does the voice is just amazing. He's got this really deep, manly voice. Anyway, there's some fun stuff out there for sure. I just, it's anymore now with the limited time that I have. I need to focus on the things I really want to get in. But I do want to widen my scope a bit. I want to try to get a few of the classics I'm interested in, like more Dumas or more Verne or Wells or some of these guys. I'm probably not going to be reading the Bronte sisters anytime soon, although I will read some Jane Austen this next year, probably along with Michael K. Vaughan. I've read a couple of hers. And so, and some classic children's books I haven't got to, and things like I've never read Anne of Green Gables or Heidi or any of these things, which are not really my usual speed these days. Yeah. As Sam from Captain Samuel Sigils says, well, you might not like this book because it doesn't have much dinosaur punch and action. So that's kind of my speed, I guess. But I do like the occasional cerebral thing. That's why I like to balance stuff out with my Golden Age detective fiction and stuff. But anyway,
you were talking. I didn't get to actually. I got my brain went elsewhere when you were talking about Agatha Christie. I was going to say I do have pretty much everything Agatha Christie wrote. I'm missing a few of the Perot books. I have everything by Miss Marple. I have the Sergeant, I'm drawing a blank on his name, series.
Superintendent Battle. Yeah.
Superintendent Battle. I have all his
Tommy
books.
and Tuppence. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of Poirot novels. I think there's, 40 something at least.
Yeah, I'm only missing like half dozen or so.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have a complete collection either, but they're so easy to find. She's like the most published writer in the whole universe of history of writing, really. So yeah, Pride and Prejudice last year. I'll never get that time back.
You should have read Pride, Prejudice, and Zombies.
Zombies, yeah. Well, I like Pride and Prejudice, and I really like the BBC adaptation with Colin Firth and Jennifer Ely. That's a wonderful adaptation. So I kind of picture that in my head when I was reading the book. But yeah, no, I understand. I know I like how Michael K. Vaughan was going, oh, God, Pride and Prejudice, and then he ended up liking it, But I'm sure most of that was a put on. But yeah, it's not to everyone's taste. I'm sure Wuthering Heights is an amazing novel.
It is.
Read it maybe one of these days. I know you're much more read up on the Paul, and I read a bunch of that stuff in college, so that's why I'm kind of like.
I'm actually a big fan of the 1933 Merle Oberon movie.
Yeah, and with Sir Laurence Olivier, right?
Yes, and I got my wife into that, and now she loves that movie too. She's read through the book, and I love that movie. And I even love the song that Pat Benatar covered from was it Bush that wrote the original? But I like Pat Benatar's version better of Wuthering Heights. So
I haven't heard that. I do like Pat Benatar though.
Me too. I'm a huge fan.
Love is a Battlefield.
Shadows of the Night may be my favorite song ever. Shadows of the Night may be my favorite song and video ever done. Where where they sneak into the Nazi compound and steal the planes and stuff. That's great. But I was gonna say, have you read anything by Christie yet, or is this something you wanted to get into?
Talking to Connor, I think.
Yeah.
No, I haven't read anything of hers yet, but would like to.
Well, let me suggest that you start with one of her standalones, and it's going to be kind of cliche. Zombies has to be better. It was. I like Heidi with all the goats in the Swiss mountains. If there is a Bronte sisters action adventure story of Brontosaurus, give them a try. All right.
Yeah, Brontosaurus. Yeah, I like that idea.
You guys
I
are
think I froze again there, guys. You guys are highbrow, right? Yeah. No, I recommend Christy for sure, Connor, because she's really readable and easy to read through and good at dialogue, and her plots are amazing. But John Dixon Carr, Marjorie Allingham, which I mentioned, Ellery Queen, any of these Golden Age guys are worth reading.
Yeah, I was going to suggest, and then there were none. It's a little cliche, but it's my favorite Christy.
It's nasty too. That's Christy in a nasty vein. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess Chadwick apparently agrees with me.
Yeah.
But yeah, Kate Bush did the original version. I like Pat Benatar's a little better. Sorry, Glock.
Oh, when you said Bush, I thought you meant the band Bush. Yeah, Kate Bush. Yeah.
Wuthering Heights song, but yeah, so I'm going all over the place. But yeah, try it, check out, and then there were none. I
stay away from the Death on the Niles and the Murder on the Orient Express because they're great, but they're kind of overly exposed. I recommend something like Cards on the Table, Death in the Clouds. Hit us up for some recommendations when you're ready. But just pick up anyone you can find cheap, as long as it's not one of her kind of romances or what. She wrote a couple of those, and then you'll be good.
Yeah. Okay.
I missed a couple of comments here that you were putting up. What was this?
Sorry.
One Day in the Life of Ivan Denisovich.
Alexander Solsestein. I can't say the name.
Alexander Solzhenitsyn. Solzhenitsyn. I don't know. Yeah, we're butchering it big time.
Yes.
The one on the island is And Then There Were None, Goat Man. Yeah, that's they changed it to locations of different kinds of locations. I love the '60s version with Hugh O'Brien and Shirley Eaton from Goldfinger, and has Fabian and a bunch of other cool actors. That one is set in a high mountain resort, but the original is on the island, and it's Christie at her darkest, I would say. Yeah, Edgar Wallace.
Yeah, I plan on it.
Yeah,
I'd like to. But I bet you've seen And Then There Were None in some form or another.
Yeah, 10 Little Indians is the '60s movie version. So
but they also it has been imitated multiple times in multiple places. In fact, Family Guy did a 1-hour special that was an imitation of And Then
the whole bumping off people one by one plot is comes from that. Ordeal from by Innocence is okay. Yeah, that's a pretty good one. Yeah. There's still plenty of Christie I haven't read. I've only read about half of them. I haven't read her autobiography.
I'd like
Mark,
to.
That would be interesting. I have a really good book guide by this Mark Aldridge guy who's a Christie scholar, and he covered all Poirot books and films and cartoons and animes and radio shows and Miss Marples. I got these over here. I think I showed them in my Christie video.
Solzhenitsyn,
probably. Yeah, wrote Gulag Archipelago, but it's too long for my attention span. Wow. Well, there's a lot of great books out there that need to be read, but I'm probably focusing on ones that maybe don't. I like those kind of books.
Okay. I think Connor's having some issues with his camera.
But he actually froze instead of me for a change. What do you know? I guess it's good to pass it on to someone else for a change.
No, don't pass that on.
Yeah, don't pass on the virus. Yeah.
Wear a mask. All right, you good? All right.
Yeah, good. Sorry, I was just having to respond to someone about grabbing some stuff on the way through.
That's all right. You could have let them come through. We don't care. We ain't as highbrow.
No, it's all good. I've got to grab it on the way through to them later today, so it's all good. Just wanted to let them know I'd actually seen them trying to contact me. That's all.
Okay.
Yeah, it's interesting, how BookTube, this corner of BookTube, it's kind of split in two. I guess it's split in two. There's the people that are much more like a Steve Donahue, although he's very aware of the pulpier side too, which is cool. But a lot of the Hannah Reads and Allison Reads, and a lot of other these channels that I do check out from time to time are really much more into classical fiction or more mainstream fiction. And then there's our particular corner, which is more on the pulpier side of things, which is where I feel like I told Nick, I like to be in the shallow end of the pool most of the time. So, that's where I feel comfortable. But, and then there's some people like Mark Richardson there that's comfortable in both sides, and Michael Givon and stuff. So, and I'm sure you, Paul, read both or have read both. And also, I believe Paul from Check Your Shelf, and maybe Steve as well, has read quite a few mainstream.
I just read whatever the hell I want and whatever I want, and I'll talk about it. For example, I'm reading right now, The Church of Baseball. And then we'll have a review coming up for that because I think that'll be fun. Yep. The Church of Baseball.
Is that a non-fiction book about the history of baseball or something?
No, it's a non-fiction book, but it's about the making of the movie Bull Durham.
Oh, that sounds more.
The guy who wrote it and directed actually played baseball for a year here in Rochester.
Ron Shelton?
Okay.
Yeah, he was a minor league ball player for a while.
Well, no wonder he has such a knowledge of the way the teams, you could tell watching that he knows what he's talking about.
And the book's funny to see some of the some of the things he pulled from real life in that. And and he talks about some different things that happened here in Rochester. It's like, I'm very aware of that. I mean, when he was here, I was only like 2 and 3, 4 years old, but some of the people that he came across still here, were in Rochester after he wasn't when I got older. So it was pretty fun. It's pretty fun so far.
Okay, cool.
I'm not a huge sports watcher fan, but I've always liked sports movies. So it's funny how many good sports movies there are.
Yeah.
So even if you're not a sports,
oh, poor Jeff. I feel bad for him. Yeah, no, I got some sports movies. I'm a fan of Slapshot's one of my favorite comedies. And I have a thing for minor league sports. I love minor league hockey. Yeah. And minor league baseball and that kind of thing. The romance of it is just amazing. So that's why I thought I'd read that. And I don't know if in Australia you have that same kind of atmosphere with the sports there, because especially
Aussies are generally big into sports. The ones that I've met anyway.
Yeah, but it's like
mainly cricket and rugby league and Aussie rules. They like, I'm not really big into watching NRL, but my wife does support a team and likes to watch their matches. But yeah, it goes off. They'll just their celebration and dedication with supporting their teams can go pretty well sometimes, for sure.
Yeah. Again, I'm sure it's just like anywhere. You can't generalize. I mean, a lot of Americans love sports and a lot of them don't, So then I have read that one in another. It must be about Christie. I don't know.
About Christie? I'm sorry, I'm behind on that.
No, yeah.
I'm going to call
Mark
my channel.
Looks at pictures.
Hey, there's always a niche.
Picture books.
There's always a niche, Gok. Always a niche. You never know.
Picture books. Those will do well.
I
like going down the water slide. Okay, I'm completely lost now. Sorry, Goat Man.
Sorry, that was my fault. I got behind. I go from James Herbert to Shirley Jackson to William Faulkner to whatever I stumble upon.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, I know, Chadwick, on your channel, you seem to kind of be more into the horror stuff in general, but it seems like you also have a good knowledge of other genres too. So definitely a pop culture junkie like me. So I dig a lot of what Chadwick's talking about, and I like how he goes through year by the month, the days of the month in past years, and from the print ads and newspapers and TV Guide and stuff. I think that's a fresh approach to do.
All right, guys. What do you guys got coming up immediately? And we'll get out of here before we spend all night.
Yeah, we should probably wrap up. Yeah, I guess, because I got to go do some things too, and I'm sure Connor's kids need some attention there. Oh, I see. The shallow end of the pool, slip and slide through the genres. Yeah, there you go.
Okay, that makes more
that's a
sense.
good way to talk about it, Goat Man. Yeah. And I liked your Goat Man. It was you that did the mince pie smoothie, wasn't it? That did that. I think that was your channel. Yeah, because Uncle Jimmy on News from the Gulling's been doing these mince pie reviews, which I think mince pie is probably well known in Australia, right? But anyway, he said he'd try it because I think Jimmy said you couldn't drink one of those, and so he decided to prove Uncle Jimmy wrong and make a smoothie out of that. I think it was you, Goat Man. Wasn't that you doing that? Pretty funny. I haven't had a chance to comment on that yet, but I thought it was a pretty funny video. The major collections now. Sorry, man. Sorry. Sorry, not sorry, I guess. But I didn't know there were all those extra ones until I think Paul from Check Your Shelf told me that, or maybe it was you actually, Glock, that said there were more. Maybe in the stream you mentioned that. It actually tasted okay.
I think mince pies or fruit mince pies?
Fruit, I'm sure. Yeah. Fruit. Yeah, the traditional Christmas ones. Yeah, not your Aussie pies that you buy at the stadium or whatever, which are pretty good too. But definitely wouldn't want a smoothie of those. Coming up on my channel, let's see. I'm gonna do another book haul because I got this. I showed off the big book of pulps a little bit, but I got this this Del Rey lot, which came in last week. And that'll be smaller than my last book haul, but I'll show that. It's probably one of the last book haul I'll have for quite a while. And then I'm going to do next week. I'm doing a stream with Larry's Library and David from Garage Geek, another Physical Media Rules holiday edition. That'll be probably a little earlier, like maybe because I think Larry's in Central Time, so it's going to be, I think. It's going to be about 1:30 Pacific time, so it'll be about 4:30 Eastern time. And yeah, Beach to
Beach TV channel, Beach to Beach TV YouTube channel for Goat Man's Fruit Mince Pies.
Yeah, I'm learning about so many more people on YouTube. I've got a lot more people to follow after this.
So yeah, make sure you guys follow Connor too. Encourage him to start making more videos. The more people who go over to his channel, the more time he'll put into making those videos. Right?
Yeah, I might have missed it, Connor. What are your plans for the rest of the year or early next year?
Yeah, so just catching up on some of the reviews I've been meaning to do and what I finished, like Kung Fu Avengers, As the Curtain Falls. I do have a book haul. I'm probably going to split it up in two because it'll be really long. Because I haven't done one for so long. It's been literally what I've bought over the last 5-6 months.
Wow.
All kind of accumulated. Because I on my last one, I had some books coming, but they told me, not for another 2 odd weeks. So I left them out. And the day after I uploaded the video, they arrived. So I'm like, I'll just wait till my next one. And then I just kept accumulating more books. I was like, I'll put it off. I'll put more in the post, going back to the bookshops. And so, I'm probably going to do that in 2 parts. Hopefully that'll be up in the next week, at least the first part for that, as well as these reviews, hopefully in the next week or 2. I'll probably record them as set to have them come out later. Just trying to catch up on some of that, and then the book haul as well.
So,
how about you, Paul? You got about 72 projects of your own in the works.
I got 72 projects. 20. I'm going to do a video talking about what I'm doing in 2026, so that'll be coming. But yeah, the video. My plans are Monday to do a review of Dogged by Michael R. Fletcher. And that's the day the book was supposed to come out, but it actually came out early. Then Wednesday, 1-800-Starship.
Yeah,
be out. And then
the
Friday
second one, Paul, because then you already do one about that.
Yeah, this is 1-800-Starship Book 2, The Last Emperor. Cheney here, he writes so fast. He has so many projects we're going at the same time. He makes Brandon Sanderson and Stephen King look like amateurs about a book.
But his books look like you could actually read one in a week or so instead of
and
it's not tiny, but
that's quick reads. So that should be out hopefully Wednesday. Friday will be my paperback book haul, which I have ready to go.
Holy crap!
Oh, nice.
Typical Paul book haul. I got picked up a few books.
Yeah, actually those aren't from this month. They've been sitting there, and I forgot to do it. They're from a couple months ago. I've been stacking them up, so I got like 4 bags like that I've just split up, and I'm going to do over the next 4 months instead of buying new stuff. So they're actually from like the summer that I never got to haul and just sat in bags. So I'll do it that way. And then probably next week I'll do the Church of Baseball video and my 2025 wrap up 2020, what's coming in 2026 kind of thing. I'm working on something, another ink and ammo, which is going to be a lot more prevalent going into next year. I have a bunch of stuff lined up for that. So I'm hoping to get my Cuba video, which I never got done.
The Men's Adventure library.
Men's Adventure Cuba along with a hard case crime book about Cuba and do them in one video. I'd like to get that out next week, not the following week. So hopefully that's what's coming up to finish out the year.
Cool. Well, it sounds like everyone's got some fun plans. This has been fun, guys. Any last comments before we get out of here that we have to look at, Paul? Did we get everybody?
Yes, I get in there. Pulp Fest website linked to your live chat, and I believe one of your videos. Yeah, I gotta. I haven't locked in yet. I have to have a conversation with my wife about it. I'm sure she's okay with it. I've been saving money, putting away my $20 a week towards it, so we'll see how that goes. 5 months, maybe a 3-hour plus video.
Yeah, it probably would be.
Book haul of your life. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so let it up and get a couple of videos on it. I think I'll just do one book haul in my life right at the end, just a huge month-long book haul. All right.
Yeah, you should do it.
I'll be
all
there.
right, well, Goat Man likes the long videos too.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mark. Thanks for tuning in.
Great to see you guys. Thank you.
Thanks, Steve.
Thank you.
Thanks for all who popped in and watched. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Goat Man. So check out Connor's channel. Of course, check out Jeff's Cave of Cool Books. I'm sure you probably all do. And if you're new, check me out too. Anything else you guys want to say?
No, man. You guys have. If I don't see you before Christmas, Merry Christmas to you. I know it's not your favorite holiday, Paul, but I'll say happy holidays to you guys anyway. And Santa in his board shorts will be coming to your kids' house, your kids' presents with your kids' presents soon. Connor probably.
My kids are in their 20s and 30s.
No, I was talking to about Connor's kids, because I'm sure your kids are. They want something different from Santa, but I know in Australia, Santa comes in on his surfboard with his board shorts instead of a sleigh. Right?
Thank you, Chadwick.
Yep.
Thanks, Chadwick. Thanks, Glock.
Thank you.
Goat Man, the other people, anyone else I'm forgetting, I'm sure there's plenty. Thank you, guys. All right. See you, dudes. Check it out later.
Thank you so much. It was a lot of fun. Thank you for having me on, by the way.
Yeah, go check out Connor's channel, Movie Snapper, guys.
Take it easy.
Bye, guys.
Yeah.